Hi, my name is Kaylin, and I am the host of the Visionary Boss podcast. Welcome back to another episode. I started the Visionary Boss in 2016 to share the best in wellness, intentional living, and lifestyle. This is a podcast space for anyone who is seeking an improved quality of life, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're aspiring to have your own business, or you simply want to live more intentionally. I'm here today with Sterling.
How's it going?
I'm doing good, Sterling. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Just another day. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
Of course. And what do you do, Sterling, for those who don't know who are tuning in?
I do real estate.
Okay, real estate. And how did you get started in that? I know, so backstory for context, I met Sterling earlier this year. I went to a networking event and an open house in Tampa, and you're one of the few people that I met and talked to that night. So,
I've always just had a passion for, I would say, flipping houses maybe, watching it on TV, but I played sports most of my life. I grew up in Virginia Beach.
okay.
And then I moved down here after playing baseball in college, and I just always knew like I wanted to work for myself. I wanted to flip houses, but I knew I needed more capital, so I got my real estate license and built connections up that way, and slowly but surely got into actually investing in the real estate.
Okay, and what drew you to Tampa since you're from
Tampa?
the DMV?
I was traveling back and forth a lot during COVID. It was a lot of cheap flights, and I was just ready for a new start. Every time I came out here, it just felt like home, and I decided to make the move.
Okay, and then what is your favorite part about Tampa since it's your new home?
I would probably say the beaches and the sports culture.
Oh, for sure.
It's a lot of sports here, so it's always something to do. And
So-
the weather for sure. I don't like the cold, so it's good to get away.
Would we catch you at a Bucs game?
I'm actually going to my first Bucks game on Monday with my roommate. He's a very big Ravens fan, so it should be a good game, Monday Night Football. I'm excited. We got some good seats in the end zone. We'll see what happens.
I think Tampa does that right as far as like the culture behind like sports and like the celebration afterwards. Like it's like people love going to the Bucks games or the hockey games. So
I've been to a few hockey games, but yeah, this will be my first Bucks game, so I'm excited to see
All right.
how it goes.
go Bucks. And then for a day in your life for someone who is like, you're 24 years old, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for someone who is your age and you're interested in being an entrepreneur, you're in the real estate world, what is like the average day look like for Sterling?
The average day, I usually like to start my days early. As I've been getting into entrepreneurship, I've realized a daily routine is very important because you're not, you have a lot of freedom and flexibility. So it's like, it's different from a job where you have to be there, show up, you clock out, and now you're done for the day. So I've just surrounded myself around a lot of successful entrepreneurs, and I've realized the morning times I kind of like to set apart from my business. Like you got to make time for yourself. So before like even 9 or 10 o'clock, I like to solely just focus on my routine, my health, my fitness, my mind, and getting that right, because if your mind isn't operating right, it's going to be hard for your business to operate. So you kind of have to separate time from business and personal, because I just run into times, say I need to get better at waking up every day early, but if I don't get up, like for say I'm in the middle of flipping a house right now, even if I just get up at 7 or 8 o'clock, I'm already waking up to phone calls from contractors for Home Depot orders, stuff like that, and it's just like I feel like I'm already getting bombarded. Versus if I get up early, I still have time to just set my phone down, be relaxed, and get my day started with a clear mind. So I usually hit the gym or run in the morning, shower, eat breakfast, and then hop into my work day from there. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
I see that you do running a lot and you're a part of different like running clubs. How has that helped you just like clear your mind?
Running, so I actually, when I finished playing sports and moved out here, I wasn't actually like working out a lot. I was just, before I got into real estate, I was kind of just sitting around. Slowly started getting back into the weight room and found a passion for running. And I met a few people at networking events, just how we met.
Right.
And I'm seeing them go to run club, and I'm like, y'all are running 3 miles. Like, what's good? Like, I feel like I can't, like, I'm like, I got to keep training, like, until I can go. And then I was probably running for like a month or two just on the treadmill, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna just show up. And it's been very good. I met very good people in the community, and it's just been great to be around like-minded people and share fitness goals together, catch up on life, and it's been very fun. I never thought I would see I've never been into running in my life, so it's been very caught me by surprise that I got into it, but it's been very well. I'm looking to run a marathon soon, and I'm actually hiking Kilimanjaro, the tallest mountain in Africa, with my cousins in February.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I'm excited for that. I need to start training a little bit more.
Yeah, it's coming up. I can imagine you're like really excited for that.
Yeah, it's my first time out of the country, so it won't really be a relaxing vacation, but it should be memorable.
Memorable for sure. Well, one of the first impressions I got of you was that you're very resourceful and you're someone who makes the best out of your situation. So when I met you at the networking event, you know, a lot of times networking is intended for people to talk to each other and like mix and mingle. But people can get pretty nervous or apprehensive to make those connections. But I saw that you were in that space and you allowed yourself to be yourself and interact with other people and make other connections within the real estate world. And I can imagine that's helped you just having that confidence and being that go-getter. It's like you're able to get different leads as well.
Yeah, I would say maybe I got that from probably growing up playing like team sports. I just had like I grew up bonding with a lot of my teammates. I have very good coaches too that set. I might have thought they were hard on me. Looking back, I'm like, dang. But like now I look back, I'm like they were really teaching me for a reason. And they've always saw me as I didn't always see myself as a leader, but they will always push me like you have that in you, but it comes with a lot of responsibility. So it's like even though you might be given that, you got to understand like what you're called to do and why, like your purpose behind it. So I would say networking has been very great for me, but now it's time to kind of do the work.
Right.
Because I came out here and didn't know a lot of people. So I was like, I need to network. Tampa's a lot of young entrepreneurs. That's what I like about this. That's another plus I like about Tampa. So back home, nobody really collaborates.
Right.
They're slowly ramping it up now, but as soon as I moved to Tampa, I just see like there's events for everybody: art, real estate, just all sort of events every night. So it's kind of easy if you do want to put yourself out there. You have the opportunity. I feel like in Tampa for sure.
People are more collaborative, as you said. Since you're new to Tampa, do you ever miss home, or do you think that you've kind of gotten more familiar with this home?
At times I do. I'm really big on family, so I luckily there is an airline called Breeze that has a direct flight from here to Tampa to my hometown, so it's very affordable. I'm able to go back home for the holidays, birthdays, stuff like that. Be there for my sisters and my parents. So I'm very fortunate that I can travel back a lot, but oftentimes I enjoy where I'm at, and I hope to move my family down here in the future so we can all call it home.
Right. You're very present in the moment.
Yeah, so yeah. I like my sisters have had a lot of big events going on, so I like to be there. Rather, if I'm just there for that and I leave, I like to be there in the moment. So.
And then, are you the only entrepreneur in your family, or are there other people who are having their own businesses?
My mom and dad they're in the restaurant industry, so they've always had a passion for food, a lot of labor. They've started a catering business. They've never fully leveraged it as they should, but my dad, my passion for real estate he's always just been he's always bought real estate, not necessarily flipped it, but he holds on to it. So we have a few rental properties, and he showed me the way that the true wealth, it's not a get rich fast game. It's how buying smart, holding on to it, and really ownership of real estate is how you get wealthy. He doesn't have the highest paying job, but now growing up, I see like all the sacrifices he made. Now he's able to kind of be free because he put his money in the right places. So it's been motivating to watch, because we like, I didn't grow up poor, but I definitely didn't grow up wealthy. A lot of my like, it might have looked like I grew up wealthy because my parents, they did the best for us, but to see my dad kind of have some freedom now, after working just such long hours every day, has been nice to see him kind of enjoy the fruits of his labor over the past few years. So yeah, it's exciting. And we've actually partnered on a few projects here in Tampa. So yeah, I'm excited for what's to come and what we can do together.
I love that, because all it takes is one generation to be like that trailblazer. So for your dad and your mom are those like good pillars of example. So now in your 20s and going on to your like later in life, you'll be able to have like that knowledge of real estate and then what it means, and the ins and outs of it. It's not always like super easy. Yeah,
they've put their trust into me. They see I'm out here doing what I'm doing, so they're like, however we can support, we're here. So I'm thankful for that.
having family that understands like that is really important. How is it now in your life with like friends and relationships and people who are close to you? Do they understand your entrepreneur mindset? Or the the reality of it?
Yeah, it's been kind of I have a few people that do and a few people that don't, but I've just realized as I'm getting older and growing and maturing and just learning new things in life, I've realized, you got to have people that are like similar to you around you. You got to have other people too, but it's like if people aren't, you got to have people that see your vision because, you know, everybody's not going to support it. But at the end of the day, you still got to do yourself. But I mean, I feel like I do have great people in my circle, but it's just at the point now where I'm kind of not eliminating, but you got to be smart about the people you keep around you. Like, I'm young, I have a lot going on, so I know these years are important, and I can't, like you said, you can't have people around you that are not
who don't get it.
Yeah, who aren't benefiting, you know?
Right. Or
all
receptive.
my relationships around me need to be helping me, or I'm helping. Like, it needs to be a plus plus. If not, I can just do it by myself. Not in a selfish way, but I just felt like I've kind of put a lot of people before myself in these past couple of years. Well, still putting business, but I just felt like I haven't made myself a priority. And it's kind of being an entrepreneur and battling all these things. It is kind of hard to put yourself first. But going into this new year, I'm excited and I'm ready to push forward.
Sounds like you're establishing those healthy boundaries.
Yeah, it's a lot, you know. I'm young, so you know it's good to be with somebody, but you also you gotta realize, you gotta look at it and say, is this benefiting both of us? I feel like, you know.
Yeah, and there's like timing for everything. I have friends who are in their mid-20s, later 20s, and it's like some of them are in relationships, have families, some don't, and everyone's timing is a lot different because you want to make sure you have like the well-rounded people who are like-minded, who understand it and get it, and who are supportive. Because sometimes people who are close to you can see you doing great things, and at first they can be very supportive, and then
as it goes
on, like, some true colors may be revealed, and maybe people aren't as excited for you. And I've had that happen to friends that I know where their partners or family, they're excited at first, and then it kind of changes, the tune changes, and then people are resentful. So you're only going to level up from now. Yeah.
Things don't always go as planned, but like I said, it's always about the long-term plan and entrepreneurship. I was at a point, like, you can get everything and lose it just that fast. So my goal, like I say, when you talk about a day in the life, I feel like just prioritizing yourself first is just so important in entrepreneurship, because the main goal right now for me is to get it and keep it. Anybody can get it. You know what I mean? So it's easy to get it and run it up and feel like you're on top of the world, but it can all go away just as fast. So if you're in a solid place, your mind is right, you're healthy, you have those right people around you, it's going to be a lot harder to lose it, I feel like.
Yes. So you stay disciplined in that.
Yeah, I try to. I feel like that's the main key right now. Keeping the main thing the main thing.
Keeping the main thing the main thing.
It's hard to get distracted in this world we live in now, just with so much going on. So,
do you ever feel like, because I know when I started doing the Visionary Boss or just doing any passion project and going full throttle in my 20s, at times people may have thought it was too ambitious at first, or they didn't really get it. And then it kind of changed my thinking at times. And I thought, well, should I be doing this? It is very like large scale. Do you ever have those moments where from the outside noise, does it influence you to do less, or do you want to continue doing more?
I see both sides.
Right.
Like, I mean, for example, when I dropped my brand, some people understood it and some people didn't. But it's like, I would like for you guys to understand, but you got to realize if it's your true passion and you see the vision behind it, it's not for you guys to understand. Somebody will. And people are going to recognize it one way or another. You're going to connect with the right people. So it's just a matter of trusting your gut and going with it, you know, because it's going to be a lot of people who even your best friends might support from afar, you know, but I've realized people I meet here in Tampa have supported me. My friends back home definitely still support me. I wouldn't say, but sometimes strangers will go, they'll show you a lot of love, and if you just connect and have the right energy, and that's what I found. So, but it's definitely difficult, because when did you start your journey, your brand?
Oh gosh, so I'm 26 now. I started when I was 14. Started when I was 14. The brand launched when I was 18 years old, but even like those 4 years in high school, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to do a blog, have a platform, and I would talk about it with some friends and people. And some people didn't really understand blogging or having a platform. I think it like back then it was more so centered with like YouTube.
Yeah, it wasn't really a thing.
It wasn't really a thing.
It's common.
It's common. I know everyone has a self brand now, so. It's when I was in college, people were like, "Oh, what is this?" Some people were like, "Oh, it's cool," and then some people were like, "Oh, like." They were trying to grasp onto it, like, why are you doing this if it's not like it's not instantaneous, so it takes time to develop a brand. So some people were wondering why I was investing so much time into a brand, and they don't get it. And I'm like, this is a legacy that I'm trying to have, even just for myself. Of course, you have an intended audience, but for me, it was I want to do this and grow with it throughout the years. So even for you, it's like you started not yesterday or 2 months ago. It's been some time developing who you are in your personal brand.
Yeah. No, and I applaud you for sticking with it so long, because a lot of people, they glorify entrepreneurship. They see all this, like you're living this lifestyle, this and that, but they don't understand the expenses that are coming in, the overhead, just the stress. It's not everything that it looks, but we have to do our best to not portray it, but like this is our job, so we are out here hustling, but it's not all well. So I applaud you for sticking with it. A lot of my friends now are kind of in entrepreneur. I hang with a lot of older people and younger people as well. Like I connect with the youth, but I've always hung around older people. But just like a lot of younger people I'm seeing, they're on their entrepreneurship journey and they're just ready to crash out, and they're only 19 or 20, and I'm like, you said you've been on your journey for this long. I think people you got to stick with it, and if you truly feel like it's the right thing and your heart is in it, it's your passion, I feel like you're always gonna win. You're not gonna lose me and yourself. So I think a lot of people, it's all about endurance and staying in the game for the long run and never losing sight of that vision and that passion. We're always gonna get burnt out,
It's the territory with it. Yeah.
But it's just a matter of keeping it up, because I tell the young people, like, I wasn't even thinking about entrepreneurship at 20, and you're complaining that you haven't made it yet. And it's like, I'm 24. I'm not old, but I'm not young. And it's just like, you kind of got to.
You're wise.
You got to just take pointers and always be willing to learn, no matter what level you get to, like everybody can teach you something. Versus it could be a homeless person at a gas station. I got taught, like they might know something. They've seen a lot. You always got to have you always got to be thinking and be open eared, because you can learn something good or bad from everybody. Even if it's bad, now you know what not to do.
Yes. So you seem like someone who gets up every single day, who is like self-motivated and self-assured. How do you have that type of faith for yourself and confidence?
I just always know when I wake up every day, like, it's bigger than me. And I know I can't do this all by myself. Like, as much as we go through as entrepreneurs and the daily grind and this and that, like, you can't just rely on yourself, like you have to rely on a higher power, I feel like. So I grew up in the church, but I played sports, like I said, a lot of my life. So weekends were spent playing baseball, tournaments, traveling, all this and that. So I kind of got out of it. I never lost my faith completely, but as I got into entrepreneurship and, having that faith as we're going through every day we wake up, it's kind of an unknown. You know what I mean? Like,
it is an unknown.
So I just really, I was like, all right, I can't do this all by myself. And like I said, I'm on social media, I was posting just a lot of biblical verses and stuff like that. And my coworker, she actually connected me. She was like, oh, do you have a church you go to here? And she connected me with a great church, a Courageous Church. And since I've been there, I've just been back locked in. And I feel like it's helped my entrepreneurship greatly. So
does you feel like a load, like lifted off your shoulders sometimes?
Like, you got to trust, like, if stuff doesn't happen, it's because it's not the right time. Like, we can't stress it. You can't wake up living like, oh, what if this, what if that? Like, you can't even think about the future. You just got to wake up and focus on the now and know that, like, everything else it's out of our control. A lot of people try to just worry. And, like, when you have faith and you know that there's someone, everything is kind of already set. It's just up for you to live it out. So when you're living in your purpose and you you feel good about what you're doing, you know, I feel like everything will naturally come, versus if it's going to be tomorrow, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. But that's where the faith comes in. You know that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
That's good advice to have. Because I think that sometimes people feel like if something doesn't happen automatically, or if it's not the way they wanted, that they failed.
No, yeah, and it's like, no, like it just wasn't your time, and you probably got something coming way bigger and better for you, you know? But a lot of, like I said, everyone just wants the now. What can happen for them now? Versus, like you said, you want to leave a legacy behind. Like, that's just how I want to live. And I'm also the last person to carry on my last name in my family, so legacy plays a big part. I have like 5 uncles, and my dad was the only one left to have a boy, so I have to carry on the family last name. I got a lot of pressure, so
big shoes to fill for sure. But you're gonna do great, and I feel like you just even knowing that, acknowledging that's important, like acknowledging your ancestors, those who came before you, and seeing how important that is. And I think now, I mean, we're so blessed in our generation because we have a lot of things handed to us. A lot of things are automated. It's like things are a lot different. So if we have those resources and we have this like stream of knowledge and all of these people around us, like how can we not be successful or want better for ourselves?
And I feel like we have it all at our fingertips. You know, it's just up to us to use it. He's waiting on us to be ready. You know, everything is already there. Just a lot of people try to, I wouldn't say neglect it. It's just like, and you can't rush it on anybody. You know, like it's a timing for everything. I feel like so. When you're called to do something, you'll know, and it's up to you to listen. If not, it's everyone's choice. I feel like I don't know. Like it's not. Yeah, you can't force it upon you. But if you feel that calling, and someone's speaking to you, I feel like you should act on it.
I just feel like when things are aligned, it is so much better. And there's been times in my life, so, you know, with the Visionary Boss, it's a blog and an online publication and a platform, but I do work with clients. So there's been times where I've had a dream client, and I thought about it, and like, that's someone I want to work with. And then I would kind of let time pass and things naturally, organically manifest the way it needs to. And then a few months, I would plant that seed, and then a few months down the line, I end up working with those clients, and then it ends up working out so well just because I was patient and I learned. I probably learned more along the way with that too.
Exactly, like I said, that goes back to everything just for a reason. And when you're doing things out of your heart and for like pureness, when you're doing pureness out of your heart, good things are gonna come. And like you said, you planted the seeds. If you reap sparingly, you'll sow sparingly. If you reap greatly, you'll sow abundantly. So a lot of people just aren't willing to plant, you know? That's how I feel in this generation.
Well, I feel like you are a total visionary and a visionary boss. So, in what ways do you think that you encompass those qualities?
I would just say always just being myself. A lot of people aren't really willing to do it, or just don't, or they want to do it, but it is a lot. Like even when I first got started on social media, I'm like, I never really wanted to do it, but I knew it would propel my business and get me in front of people that I would never be able to reach. Like we can literally reach anybody at our fingertips right now with the power of social media. Back in the days, that was unheard of. So I think I was doing real estate, and like I said, I wasn't right. Like I was kind of out of shape at the time. I wasn't really even confident, so I didn't even feel like I wanted to do content, be on camera. You know, if you're not, that's why I say it goes to yourself first. You got to feel confident in what you're doing and how you look. Like, not everything is how, but you want to be confident. So if you're not feeling like you don't appear well to the world, you're not gonna put out content. So I had to get kind of wellness, healthy, mind right first, spirit, and then I was able to kind of propel, and it went from there. I feel like.
So with your current brand, you're releasing a new concept called Sterling Springs. I would love to hear more about that.
Yeah, so that just kind of came about as I was growing my audience, and I felt like it was time for that next step. You know, it was time for a brand, and like you said, legacy. So Sterling Springs Home is more of a production, home building, real estate side, and then Sterling Springs for itself will be like more of a lifestyle brand, visionary, just a lifestyle brand. You know, I like fashion, modeling, stuff like that. So real estate is always a passion for me, and no matter, all money will always lead back to real estate. But I feel like I just don't want to. I want to get into other endeavors, like I say. And real estate, it's not going anywhere.
No.
So yeah, I just want to kind of dibble and dabble. Like you said, I'm getting into running now. I might try to drop like a running collection, just essentials, stuff that people need, and where I can spread my name, my brand around. I want to be tabling at events, passing out merch. Any way I can get my name out there and spread the message.
Well, that name is powerful, just like Sterling, just like on merch, and then the story behind it, of course, because people can like what you do, but also like the person behind it. So I think people resonate with you.
Yeah, I got to give them a way to kind of connect further. So I'm excited for what's next. Hopefully I can get some stuff rolling out soon.
I feel like social media is like a huge moving vehicle for entrepreneurship and self-branding. So people who, you have a lot of followers, by the way. And I feel like the reason that is because people like you and like the content you produce, and it's always super positive. When did you start doing real estate?
I think I got licensed. I think I'm going on like 2 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, when I got licensed, I joined a team and was just mainly focusing on sales. But like I mentioned earlier, my main goal for real estate was always to be investing in real estate, not necessarily just selling real estate. I like connecting with clients, and it's you're helping people with usually the biggest purchase of their life. So yes. it's a big job and task. I enjoy it, but like I said, I want to dibble and dabble into other things. So I was on a team my first year. Then I switched brokerages and joined more like a boutique brokerage where I could focus on.
I want you to like kind of touch more on that, because a lot of people think that they have to just like stay with one brokerage. Mm-hmm. How is that like transitioning?
It was rough. A lot of people on my team, they wanted to leave too, but like they weren't willing to maybe necessarily take that step, or they felt some security there. Like we were getting leads, they provide a lot for us, and they were a little bit older, so they had kids and things, so necessarily like they can't take as many risks as I can versus, you know what I mean? So
that makes sense.
They felt like it was being on a team is kind of like a safe net. I enjoyed everybody on my team, but I just knew like this is not what I see myself doing, like being transaction to transaction for the rest of my life. Like I want to own property, and nobody there was doing that. So it was kind of a big step. I'm leaving. I know like, all right, now all the business, real estate is all about leads. How are you going to generate leads? Mm-hmm. And now it's like, I'm not from here. All this business now is on me. But it was what I wanted to do. So I've gotten into like new construction development, flipping houses, which I've always wanted to do. My sales side has slowered up a little bit, but I'm still generating a lot of leads, through social media as I've been able to grow my platform. So what I see next for me in real estate is starting a team, and I have these leads coming in and just dish them out to agents and let them work these leads, coach them up. I feel like growing up playing sports and baseball, it's a very team sport, a lot of leaders. So I feel like with the right people around me, I can definitely lead them in that right direction and kind of just get into other avenues, like I said, and not just solely focus on being around an agent, showing houses, doing this and that, and phone calls. I can kind of take some of that pressure off of my shoulders.
Oh, I love that. I love that you really do have like a focus and a vision for yourself. And I think that your background with like sports, having a faith, having family who are into real estate investing, that's influenced you. Mm-hmm. So you have the leadership capabilities for sure.
Yeah, and in baseball, you fail a lot. So it teaches you a lot of discipline. Like you kind of just got to wake up every day and keep going, keep grinding, and know everything is going to work out for the greater good.
For people who are interested in working with you, how can they contact you or reach you? How does that process go? I
would say just shoot me a DM. I'm always responding. If you would like to, I'm looking to connect with people, all entrepreneurs. With the interest in real estate. There's just so many ways to make money now. You have e-com, drop shipping, exotic cars, stocks.
Yes.
Like I say, we can make money on all these different avenues and then put our money into real estate. So we don't necessarily have to be doing real estate 24/7, but we all have an interest in it. So that's kind of the people that I want to work with. And I'm always open to chat and see how we can best help each other.
Any current construction projects you're working on?
Yeah, so I'm working on a flip right now, currently in Seminole Heights. We just wrapped up a new construction property sold it off market, and we're getting ready to break ground on 2 new homes, one in Lakeland and one in Tampa. And then we have like six single family homes coming in Orlando, Altamont Springs.
Okay.
So that's kind of how my brand came about. Sterling Springs Homes. It's kind of the areas that I want to build in. Sulphur Springs in Tampa, Bonnet Springs in Lakeland, and just kind of communities and synergy that it's kind of how the brand came about.
Okay, look, working on new developments helped you develop something new.
Yeah, of course. Of course. So, yeah, it all kind of just made sense at the time, and I acted on it. I saw the opportunity that made a lot of sense, and I kind of just ran with it. And like you said, a lot of people don't see it. Like, I'm sending people my logo. They're just like, oh, like, I don't really get it. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
what's there not to get?
And I'm just like, I mean, you guys will get it, you know?
They will eventually. They'll see.
So, yeah, I had to kind of, like, I made a post, like, with a little breakdown of the vision behind it, and then kind of got some good engagement. Because I feel like a lot of people just didn't know everything behind it, and eventually time will tell and people will see it come to life. So I'm excited.
Time will tell. Years. Yeah, and I feel like going into like this next season in life and getting ready for 2025, that's a big year. So a lot of pressure.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. It's my golden birthday or something coming up, golden year. So I'm turning 25 on the 25th in 2025. So yeah, it's a big year. I'm excited.
Okay.
Hopefully big things to come.
I know. Well, last question. Outside of real estate, outside of entrepreneurship, Sterling, how are you actually?
How am I?
Yeah.
As far as like my mental,
your well-being overall.
I feel like I'm in one of the greatest places I've probably been in a while. I'm just maturing. I'm learning to see things from a different point of view. I used to kind of not be stubborn, but stuck in my ways, and I'm realizing, like, you kind of got to be open to just open to a lot of new things, as I'm maturing. I see a lot of things from a new perspective that I've never seen before. So I'm grateful for that. I'm excited, and I feel like I'm just walking in my calling. Like you say, when things align, align. So I just feel like I'm walking in my purpose, taking it day by day, knowing it's not in my control. That's how you got to wake up and know, like, none of this is in my control.
A conscious decision to make.
You got to have that faith and just know, like, but you got to do the work too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people have faith but no work. So yeah, I just like I'm at the point where my faith is strong. I'm ready to put the work in. Like I say, I put other people kind of before me now, and this year is kind of like a selfish season, but I'm bringing the people with me that have been around to support. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. Look, they say your frontal lobe is developed at 25.
Yeah,
so.
that's what I've been hearing. One of my friends just turned 25. She was like, once you turn 25, everything just clicks. So I'm waiting to see if that's true.
That's true.
Did you feel the same way when?
Yeah. Well, I would say you already have a good head on your shoulders. So I feel like going into 25, you'll just probably, things will reveal themselves
more. Sense, maybe.
The paradigm shifts a little bit. Things make more sense. When I turned 25, for sure, it was like, oh wait, it was like, so it was like a switch that went off. I'm like, okay, I understand now. Like, when your parents are always like, you'll understand when you're older.
You really understand. You really understand. Like, and you gotta, like I said, just part of growing. You see why things played out the way they did, and you can't question it because, like I say, it all works out. So yeah, I think I'm in a good place. I'm excited to finish out Q4 strong. I think some big things are happening.
Yes.
And start off Q1 good, 2025. I'm excited. And I'm excited to see what for both of us what happens in the new year.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm excited to see your personal growth and development, and then also Sterling Springs and the housing. So it's really all exciting, positive things.
Yeah. I have to bring some merch by.
Yes, I would love that. I'm a merch person. We need more merch back here on the podcast. Well, thank you, Sterling, for joining me for another episode of the Visionary Boss podcast. Sterling, where can they find you on social media?
The source_Sterling is the best way to find me.
Okay. And you can find me at the Visionary Boss. Sterling, we'll have you back in next year, talk some more.
Yeah, it was great having me. I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll have to do it again.
All right. Thanks you guys for watching.